And then she said, "Stop saying the F word." I wonder who that's towards. Good afternoon,
Oh.
everyone. I'm Britt, and as always, I'm here with my mom. It's my life. But, okay, before we jump into what's happening, I have to ask a quick question. We're a day late with recording. Which one of us needed to move the recording? Initially. Because I feel like we both did in the end. But initially, who needed to remove the recording? After threatening me last week that she would jump on it and talk about me when I wasn't able to defend myself.
It wasn't, you know whose freaking fault it was?
My father.
Your father.
Uh,
So yesterday was his day off, which is not his normal day off. He always has like every other week has like a day off. And during the week, which he then I I don't know, but there were three things he had to do during the whole day, like from sun up to sundown. The dogs had to go to the groomer. We needed to pick up hay, and the drywall guy was going to be done. And that was all she wrote. He couldn't. So I had to take the dogs to the groomer. They had to be there right at 9, but I had a plan. Like I was just going to work from the car and then or turn around and get back. I I just was like, I had to sit in Rapid City for 4 hours and work from various parking lots. Also, it's so cold here. Like, it is just miserable cold. So then I get home and I still had to hurry up and get home. Like, I had a small window to get home because it's 45 minutes, I think, from Rapid, or 40 minutes probably, but there's a 15-minute window where I have no cell service. So I have to like make it through the 15-minute window like just at the right time so that I don't miss any meetings. And so I get home, I'm rushing down to my lair to like, and he's like, "I don't understand why you're mad at me. I've done nothing to you all day." I'm like, "That's because we've been apart, because I've been sitting in Rapid because you couldn't handle taking the dogs to the groomer and having to talk to the drywall guy. Plus we canceled the hay because it was like 25 below zero. It was miserable. But that's why I had to move it. It is your father." Oh, and then this is my new thing too. I
I
can't
was
whistle
gonna
at him
say.
when he's like not paying attention. It's your father. So when I'm really
Oh
mad at
my.
him and he's not paying attention in the way I should, I clap like that. He does not appreciate the clap, but
I was trying to remember back. Have you always clapped? How did you get our attention when we were little?
yes, I've always,
Always
I've
clapped?
always, I'm like,
Apparently, I put it into the back of my head.
oh my God, because I can't. Here's my whistle.
I can't whistle
And
either.
yelling, well, and the yelling becomes less effective when you do it all the time.
Yes,
So the clapping is to get your attention.
that it does. That it does.
So the change in schedule was because I married a lunatic
Don't worry,
who
I
is
should. If
off
I
his
would,
rocker, off his rocker.
if today went or yesterday went to blown up, I would have just jumped on and talked to myself because I feel like I could talk to myself for 45 minutes to an hour, no problem. Do it all the time.
And
Before
answer your and
I could
answer
answer
yourself.
myself too. I really don't need a second person.
In fact, the meetings go way better when I'm the only
They,
one there.
uh-huh.
Like that's when
Yes.
I think about it, I'm like, my
Hmm.
process works a lot better when I don't have to actually listen to anyone else.
Or explain it
But
to people. Like, can you not just
maybe
get
that's
it?
it. Yeah.
Can you not hear it is what it is. Yes, I
Oh,
now, oh, there are some recordings of meetings that are going to go into the deep dark archives of life that are not client records
archives.
archives. What did I say?
It's that archives. It's the Louisiana in you again. Every once in a while, it just comes out.
I feel like it's coming out more over here in Virginia. I know I didn't move to West Virginia, but I feel like it's coming out more over here.
You're gonna, Jessica. I hope Jessica doesn't listen to this. She's from West Virginia. Well, your country. It
Her
doesn't matter
accent's
where we
so
plop you.
southern, though. It's
Yeah,
so
it
southern.
doesn't matter where we plop you though, your
No.
country. You can be
And
in, you can be wherever you want to
there
be.
are a lot of kiddos who were at one point lived in Florida with a very long A in all of their talking because I taught them how to talk and That's how I talk. I had a
I know. We need
I had a staff member named Maggie, and
Maggie.
I say
Maggie.
Maggie. Maggie is how I say it.
Maggie. Right, that's
Maggie.
how it should be said. We need to have
Mm,
Alicia on here because oh
we
my
do.
God.
You're
What
right.
she'll make us say bag,
Like
bag,
45
bag. I don't even
times.
know bag.
Bag. Ah. A. Mm.
Well, I'm trying to I'm trying to learn Somali. And the problem is that the vowels are really hard for me because like their vowels are usually soft vowels and every vowel I have is hard. It's a
Yes.
hard vowel. And it is just not working. And I went to my first lesson and the guy was very nice, but he's like, "So why do you want to learn Somali?" And I said, because I work in Somali clinics and I think it would be helpful to at least like semi understand. He's like, well, how long have you been working in Somali clinics? And I'm like, 5 years. And he's like, what? Okay, that's good. What words do you know? I still now even to the I can't.
I can't on the spot either. However, when they're
Yeah,
talking, I
and
can pick
he's
them up a little
yeah, but then
bit.
he's like, shouldn't you know at least a couple words? I'm like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I should.
No ear for
I should. So
languages. No ear for languages.
mm-mm. I'm trying really hard because I told him I said I don't necessarily need to speak it because all of our Somali friends make fun of me anyway when I try to say any kind of word because and they don't because they're so actually very kind and they're used to it, but it's I'll
What
have
was
them repeat
one of
words.
them told me we've been working with her for years, and she's like, I was trying to say hijab, right? Hijab. Is that
Hmm.
hijab or hajib? Okay, so I was saying it wrong. I couldn't remember which one to pronounce it, and she's like, just say scarf.
She's like, I can't do it anymore.
No.
Say scarf.
She's like, I don't know, just say scarf. Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was.
I think you just continue to try and
I know.
hopefully,
Think though of trying to. So you ABA is another language. I just had an interview with somebody back in Iowa, and I'm having her do some training, and then we're going to talk
hmm
again. But I told her it's like learning a different language. ABA is a different language.
hmm
Thinking of translating ABA into Somali and then English, like it's crazy how much the translation
it,
has to happen.
and if you and I think about that all the time because I was teaching last night and we're doing assessments and I get I get a
Lord
little
have mercy.
assessments in general I struggle with just because I think people also first of all because of my age they think I've been in ABA forever, which I haven't. Been in ABA for 5 years. And I've only worked in clinics that English is not the first language. So
Mm-hmm.
I've never, Ike and Ivy in Iowa is the first clinic I've worked in that English is the first language of everyone. But so even how I do assessments is with that lens of English is not their first language, ABA is not their first language. And so my approach to assessments is in the ABA world is lax. It just is. It's because I also know I've worked primarily in Somali clinics all Somali clinics actually. And you have to build rapport before you can even start the process if you really want to do effective care. And so it does look differently. Like I could go through a checklist and I know that sometimes we have to do a checklist like when we're doing diagnostic and things like that. But if I just started reading off a checklist
Mm-hmm.
to a parent, like
It
it
doesn't go
would just
well.
wouldn't work. Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, I
Nope.
agree. I understand that.
So
Okay, so let's talk about. We talked a little bit about what's going on, but we have to talk about. So I don't know if I told you. So baseball started this week. Okay, so baseball started this week, and we have a huge snowstorm here, and it's cold, but not as cold as it is back there. Or I can still open my door, not that cold yet. Um, or I can touch my doorknob without my
I'm
hands
not
freezing.
froze to the yes, I'm
Yes.
not froze to the door. Not froze
Yes.
to the
So
door.
not that cold. So Cash's first practice was canceled. He was super sad. Actually, it was canceled all week, but Huey still had his practice. And guess who's on his team? One of his best friends
Oh.
from school.
Oh, is he excited?
They walked out together with their little backpacks and their bat and it was so cute. But yeah, so he's excited
Mm.
and he loved first practice even though he was freezing. Um and then Cash, I don't know. Okay. So this might be me when I was littler, but I don't know where Cash gets this now. But so me and him played catch for a while because I let him come to the practice.
Hmm.
And my hands were okay. My hands were freezing, but my shoulder hurt from trying to catch his balls because he's learning on his target. And
Control. You were missing some control, is what
yeah.
you were
Mhm.
missing.
And my catching arm is it's a little older than it used to be when I was catching in the day, back in the day. Um, and so I'm like, I can't play right now. He just walks up to another kid or about his age who's sitting there watching. He's like, "You want to play catch?" I'm
Oh,
like, "Who is the kid?" I don't know. Did you get his name? No. Who asked to
that's
play catch?
is
You, me. Oh, okay. And yeah, he's
he
like,
is
I need
so
to
much like
practice.
you.
He is too, because
Yeah.
he's like, I am bad at pop flies, mom. We have to practice pop flies. We have got to
So
practice this.
so Britt, when she started softball, you played the girl that pitched. She went on to play college ball, not like
And she coaches
and she
now.
coaches, not
Mhm.
D1 or anything, but she played college ball. But when she was learning to pitch, all Britt did was jump,
Jump.
like jump. But one time they were at practice. So if you play, if you play a sport or you do anything, ride horses, whatever, there is no crying, no
Nope.
crying,
No
no crying.
crying.
You don't get to stop if you're hot, tired, sad, whatever.
Oh
So
my
I
god.
sent, we
Don't
lived in
don't
a,
signal that you need water. No water signaling.
don't lay in the outfield on your back watching butterflies as your
No, that was
sister
not
because
me.
it was
Let's
so
say not
hot.
me. Mm-mm.
So Britt, we lived in a little town. She rode her bike up to practice and she rode back home from practice and her eye is completely like I've never seen an eyeball bulge out. She got hit. What did the softball rolled
It
off your glove?
No, so the shortstop was coming back, and I was at that time I was in the field, and I was in center field, I think, and I was coming up for it, and I had a better catch, and I called
Did
her
you
off.
call it?
I
Did you
called her
call it?
off. I called her off, and she didn't stop, and it tipped her glove and hit me in the eye.
In the eye
And
socket. In the
in
eye
the eye
socket.
socket. But I finished practice. We still had an hour left, and that was the only time the coach was like, "I think maybe you need to sit out." And I'm like, "No, I am not sitting out. I'm not going
Oh
home
my
early.
God,
I'm
her
finishing
whole
practice." Plus, the coach had it for me, and I knew she would use it as an excuse not to give me my spot, too.
that coach, and as a human was a bitch. I'm
Hmm.
not, and
Yeah, I was not losing my spot. I was not going home early. And okay, anybody who's heard any stories, mom does not take us to the ER right away. She likes to wait a second to make sure that we really need to go to the ER.
just
But at that time,
you.
that's the first time I think she has been like, okay, go get in the car.
Oh my God, because I have never, like, I'm pretty sure your eyeball is not supposed to be protruding that much. But
I rode my
again,
bike home, also, by
yeah,
the way.
probably with one eye facing the other eye the other way.
We do not give up.
Oh my God. Oh my
No,
God.
mm-mm.
Oh my God. My
Yeah.
nose is running so bad. So now it's like, that's all I'm doing is working my nose. Okay. So,
And I have managed though to I did hit Huey in the face with the ball during practice.
I've
And
done that.
I said, you need to move your glove faster. And then Cash learned the importance of not having your fingers like bent and having them ready to
Oh
catch
yeah.
that way because he got his tips hit with the ball
Hmm.
and that was not his favorite thing.
I mean, I
So,
feel like I didn't I didn't realize I'm super competitive and I like tried not to, but Taylor is the same, like Taylor in
in
wrestling.
wrestling, yeah,
eh,
got it
She
all.
screams the whole, it's so bad. We're so
Hmm.
bad. Well, I'm glad they both like baseball.
They do.
On,
They love it.
I used to have to sit at baseball fields for 3 nights a week, and the
I will
only
be
good
there with
thing.
my popcorn and my can of Coke.
Do you have your little igloo cooler full of
My
soda? My
cooler.
grandpa would
Hmm.
pull up in the caddy and
Yep.
he'd pop us microwave popcorn and have a little igloo cooler full of soda, and they would come
Mhm.
to every single
Yep.
baseball, softball game ever. They
I
loved
never
it.
thought of that. I love that Huey loves popcorn because that,
Yeah. Well, you
yeah,
get popcorn every night. That's what
me
the
too.
snack was.
Hmm.
In this house it's ice cream, but
Yeah.
and then it was
So
ice.
we have baseball and it's all canceled now because of the stupid snow day. So they got canceled yesterday from school. It didn't start snowing until like 2 p.m.
Yeah, but do
And it
you
was
want to be on the
not that
roads
cold. I do not
with
care. Yeah, give me an early out. I don't care.
but the
Anyway,
people they don't aren't used to snow. You do not want to be driving on those
you are
roads.
correct. Well, Dustin did say it was a bit slippery when he went to the grocery store after it started snowing,
And
but
nobody can
there was like
drive.
170 accidents in the Hampton Roads area. It's
I'm telling
ridiculous.
you. Yeah.
But so we have a snow day today, which is legit because there is like 5, 6 inches of snow out. And but tomorrow they did not call tomorrow off. They decided to put it into an asynchronous school day.
What's that mean?
It means that I have to do the homework with them.
Well, you're their mother.
I quit homeschooling. Speaking of not quitting anything, guess what my mom told me, encouraged me to quit was homeschooling.
I
And it's
did. I
not because
did.
homeschooling, I think homeschooling is great and I wish I could do it, but I
No. Mm-mm,
myself
mm-mm,
cannot
mm-mm.
homeschool.
You
Me.
did not have a
Mm-mm.
good. Mm-mm. I was looking
No.
back at last year. I think the whole month of February. Where was Dustin? Was he gone last
Yeah,
February?
remember he moved me to Virginia to a
Oh
job where he
yeah.
could be home at 5 o'clock and then traveled.
Because we were at
Great
Great
Wolf.
Wolf Lodge for what felt like
We
that
lived
was
there
the trip.
for like ever, I feel like.
That trip. Okay, this is my daughters. I love them. So we're in a hotel, and it was a 2-room hotel, I think. But
With two
my
bunk
daughters,
beds also. So there
yeah,
was
but they love to travel.
one, two,
Like
yeah.
like they want us all to sleep in the same room, in the same
Yes.
bed. Like
Hmm.
I'm like, no. I do not, we do not need this closeness.
Like
So
Willy
Hattie and I
Wonka.
always, yeah, that would be
It
your
is.
dream.
We
Like
would love it.
Charlie's house, the
Uh
two
huh.
beds were all, no. So Hattie and I always get the bedroom because Hattie and I need our
Nobody
sleep.
wants
We
to.
do.
You're right. We need at least two
So
rooms.
it too. So I'm out working. This is the best part. Well, I don't want to stay at Great Wolf Lodge because it's
No.
the loudest place I've ever been. I don't want to be in the hotel room with all of those children, 5 of them, and my 2 daughters. So I'm out working, seeing clients and customers and all this. So and I call, I can't remember why I called. Oh, it was do we need wrapping paper or something silly? Or is this the different trip? I don't know. But anyway, some kid threw up on my bed.
Some kid, let's be serious. It would have either been Cash or P.
So P threw up on my bed. Was that the same trip or was that in the summer? I don't know. But during this Great Loaf Lodge trip, those
I think it was a
two,
different trip
my
because
two,
wasn't the birthday trip
I don't
because it's
remember.
Hugh's birthday month, and that one was Finn came up, didn't he? So we had Jackie, Finn, Lily, not Lily,
No, that was a separate,
Sally. That was
Sally.
the
That was
summer
a separate
season.
one too.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
was the one where, I don't know. But one trip, a kid threw up in my bed.
That's how many
But
times we
my,
went to Great Wolf last year for about 4 months, as we don't know which trip we went on.
yeah.
When
And my daughters were supposed to be working from the hotel
we
room
were
because
working,
a telehealth
we
business.
were
And
working.
I'm not sure what happened, but they thought that one of our coworkers was going to rat them out that the kid had thrown up on the bed.
We
And
ordered the exact same blanket from Target. We had everything in line to replace so that it didn't even happen. And during it, we, so
Panicked.
yes, Taylor was, well, no one working. That's when I decided to take some time off and babysit. That's how tired I was.
Jesus.
Anyway, so she was tucked away and P threw up and I panicked. And so then Taylor and I switched places really quick and I accidentally hung up. And then Alicia called me because she was in charge of the client and was like, what happened? And I'm like, blah. And then my mom called and we were pretty sure Alicia ratted us out.
Ratted you out, but she didn't.
We did not. Mm-mm.
You ratted
We did
yourselves
not.
out.
We did rat ourselves out. Yep.
And I was like, so I don't have, I like, okay, I do have a lot of rules, but like one, don't, like, why were y'all on my bed? Like, why can I not just have
Because,
one spot?
like you said, we had two rooms. And so Taylor had to be in one where nobody else was because of the HIPAA compliance. So then all of me and the kids are in one other room. That's why.
I was
Because
like, oh
Taylor
my
had to be in
God,
HIPAA compliance because we
can we
run a
just have,
telehealth company.
can I just have one spot that's my own? I just want one spot that's my own.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I feel like okay, I'm going to jump into our next segment for that one because so usually last time we did F and Jepsons. However, I don't have an F and Jepsons right this instance, but I feel like I'm going to do turning into my mother. That is me. And
I think that
why?
ship already sailed.
I am turning into my mother, okay? I have quite a few this. First off, I'm wearing her sweatshirt. Super comfy.
Oh, are
It's
you?
so
Oh yeah.
comfy.
Oh yeah, because I bought rugs and I couldn't fit. I had to leave clothes behind so that I could get my
So she
rugs.
could fit her rugs in. Yesterday, during our crazy day, I started to notice that I was putting my worry stone on my forehead and rubbing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what my mother does. And then
It's because the worry stone is cool. It centers my, I don't know where my chakra is, but I feel like mine is on my forehead.
one of them is on your forehead.
Is it what
Then
you need to look that up because I feel like,
it's in my class I took, remember? I just have to find
well,
my notes. I
when
need
I
to
get
look.
super, when I
Mhm.
get super nervous, I always feel like a cool, something cool
Oh,
on the middle of my forehead is needed. Just
maybe
saying.
that's the shock. That's a sensory processing.
I think I do have ADHD.
And then what are you
And
doing to your
maybe,
hands right now? Please tell
well,
me.
I know just you thinking about it is making my
Yeah,
hands dry
I
up. I
had
can
to get
feel it.
myself hand cream. I now have hand cream at my desk. Hand
It's so
cream.
dry here.
So I figured out why I needed hand cream because remember, I'm like, it's so dry. And you're like, you live in Virginia. It is not dry. Well,
Hmm.
I, first off, the punching bag situation, I had like scraped a little bit on my knuckle when I was turning to tighten it. Anyway, after that, we got new cleaner for that stainless steel pan or whatever Dustin has to cook in. Is it stainless steel? The cooking pan, the fancy
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
cookie. Anyway, so
Yeah,
we got
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
barkeep cleaner, and I cleaned it without gloves. And I'm like, oh my god, my hands are burning. And so I think
Oh,
that's
are you
why
supposed
my
to use?
hands are so dry. Well,
Mm,
it takes. You should see how well it cleans. I'm guessing you shouldn't directly put that on your skin because of the chemicals in it.
it's like
That's
when you put lice treatment
clean.
directly that's meant for your
Yep.
furniture on your
No,
head.
that went straight on my forehead. I did not get any lice. I have now super dry scalp, but that's something I can work with.
The prevention of lice is very important.
It
But
is
you,
very
what
important.
what we know is if the manufacturer's recommendation is not to put it like to wear
Directly on your
gloves
skin.
or directly, so you think it's not the state of Virginia that made you dry,
No, I
it's your
think it's
misuse of chemicals.
that's what I'm guessing. It is that the hand cream. But yeah, so the worry stone, the hand cream. There was one other one.
That's only two things.
I know there was one other one when I think it's the teaching of the sports. I'm
My God, just
I
catch
was
it. I think I gave
yes.
each of you.
Okay. Yeah, we were in cash. I'm like, just throw it normal. You
Yeah.
don't have to be crazy. Like, just throw the ball. Just throw it. Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Well, okay. So when we were playing volleyball because last time when we were in Virginia in October, Ava is really into volleyball, which I love because I like volleyball, but
Mhm.
also like we're on a sand volleyball pit and it's me, Cash, Ava, and your dad. And I'm like, y'all have to hit it directly to us. Like, first of all, I'm old. And
Oh,
so
not as nimble.
I'm just like, just hit it to like hit it to me. And Ava's like, I want to spike it to you. I'm like, oh my God. Just like, can we just let's practice just bumping it? Let's work on control. So I'm telling her about control. So she bumps it to me, I hit it, and it like goes towards the duck pond. I'm like, well, and she's like, I thought you said we're supposed to control it. And I'm like, I'm old, Ava. I haven't played volleyball in 100 years, but yes,
She
done.
wanted to spike it at me too, and then I told her, okay, you spike it at me, I'll spike it at you. And she spiked at me, and then I spiked it at her. And because I am my mother, I spiked it real.
Right at her face.
And then she's
Oh
like,
yeah, but what happened? What
oh
happened
my
in the yard when you spiked it?
gosh, that was horrible. That was when I set it. So I went to
Oh,
set it, and my ring flew
your
off. My
wedding ring
wedding
flew
ring
off
into the
in the yard.
shrubbery that was underneath the tree. And I stood there and I left my hands where they were. I did not move. And of course, I had Ava and Cash out with me, who have no hustle. There is no hustle. And I'm like, you need to go get one of your grandparents right now.
And I didn't even get $1 for finding it.
No, but
So
you found it.
in our family, if I lose something, I offer $1, which goes nowhere. No one wants $1.
Nor do they ever actually get the dollar. I'm just saying.
Well, I just build up into the,
It's for their
well,
college
that's because no one
savings.
understands. So I had Hattie right after Christmas and I met Taylor in Minneapolis. And so Hattie had like the rest of her money. She had like $14 and she bought something that was $15. So I said, Hattie, give me your $14 and I'll just pay for it with my stuff. So she gave me her $14, which I pocketed, and then I paid for her stuff and my stuff with my debit card. Taylor calls me and she's like, did you steal Hattie's money? And I'm like, what? And she's like, Hattie said you took her money. And did it. And I'm like, I took her money to pay for her item. And she's like, she said you put it in your pocket. Like, oh my God, I did not steal your money, Hattie. So then I'm like,
Listen,
Taylor, did you not teach her how like money works? And she's like, she's 6. I'm like, oh my God,
she's more for a
I can't
one-to-one
help you then.
correspondence.
I can't.
She'd like
I'm
that.
not in charge. Not my, I've raised children. I've done it. I'm done. You
Yeah, you
guys
do a
figure it
really
out.
good job. Um,
So emotionally stable. Just
okay, so emotionally. Speaking of raising children, okay, this week my favorite animal is, and I feel like this is because it is his birthday month. Who I don't know if you watch the video, you probably just saw me mute myself and yell. He's sitting at the door, his hands under it, and he's running the car into it. And anyway, so my favorite animal is when Huey is trying to be an emotional terrorist.
oh my God.
He is okay. So it was his birthday month, and he swears at we after our Great Wolf story we just let you guys in on. It was during his birthday month. Like his birthday, he got a trip.
I flew out there. Yeah, I flew out there.
And then
But
he
he had
flew
me
back.
so convinced. Yeah, he had me so
But
convinced that we had not celebrated his birthday.
he was very sure we did not celebrate his
Mm-mm,
birthday last year. And
mm-mm.
I will say, as a mom, I don't have that many pictures. I was not in a good headspace. Like mentally,
He
it
made
was
his
rough
own
going.
party.
He did make
He
it, and he
remember
made us
he
all the
took
drinks
he took a half a cup of water and poured in an entire pouch of like red
of the Kool Aid
Kool-Aid.
that was meant
Yeah,
for
like
a
it was
jug.
thick. A thick Kool-Aid. And then he put his plates out, but I bought him a book that was
But that
all
was only
him.
part one of his trip.
Yeah, and then he got to fly.
And then, yeah, flew to Minnesota and went to Great Wolf and made a stuffed animal and got to mine for gold and all of, but
Hmm.
he was convinced because
Mm-mm.
I could not come up with photographic evidence of it.
I did. I did.
So he,
Oh.
this year, the day before his birthday, he's like, are you going to decorate? Should we decorate? I think we should. Like, he was all on me about decorating. I'm like, I don't think I'll decorate because again, turning into my mother. But um he comes down the next morning. First off, I decorated. I decorated hard. It was probably not up to his standards because it was a
No.
little hillbilly decoration,
Mm-mm.
which I am a little hillbilly, so I feel like I can say that. Anyway, he comes down and he's like, I had a dream. And I'm like, where is your dream? What dream did you possibly have? I had a dream that you didn't decorate for my birthday or get me anything. And I just was sad. It was just a dream. I was sad.
Just so sad. I was
So
just so
sad.
sad.
So sad.
So sad. Oh.
Another is he goes in after the grandparents leave. So they have their own little guest room, and it's always called the grandma room. And after they leave, he goes in there to find a piece of them because he misses them.
When he comes out with a ball of hair.
Just to find a piece. Then the one night it was during the Super Bowl, and I was talking to Cash and interacting a lot with Cash. I was interacting with both. First off, I was home by myself because the husband was gone. Anyway, and he goes, sometimes, like just a second ago when you and Cash were doing that, I feel like nobody cares about me. It's like, okay, let's talk through this. Then
Oh.
it was the night before Dustin got back, and it was a school night, and I don't usually let him sleep in my bed when Dustin's gone on a school night. I make him sleep in his own room. But he looks at me, he goes, it's our last night together. Like, you're
It's so
right.
strange.
You can sleep in my bed with me. Not a big deal whatsoever.
He's ridiculous though. Like he is naughty. Naughty.
Mischievous. He is mischievous. Like, because he's him and Hattie they're going to rule the world one day. I just don't know if it's gonna be like I can't
Good or
even.
bad.
I have
Good or
don't
bad.
know. Not making any
Yeah,
appropriate
he
references there.
yeah, he just is he is something. And
I love him to
he when you get after him, he just smiles.
death.
Like, and I'm like, you know what? That's not gonna get you far. Like it isn't. Because
No, the other day I dropped him off at school, and at school we always check. I always ask first off, do you have your backpacks after Cash forgot his? But then, do you have your good attitude? And
no,
usually the
no,
answer
I
is
do
yes.
not.
But that day he's like, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna get a sticker or punch my friend in the face. I'm like, I feel like you should get a sticker. I
I
think that
feel like let's
is
go
gonna
towards
be.
sticker, little angel
Let's.
sticker.
I feel like you should choose peace. Choose
Well,
peace.
and the problem with him is too, like with all everyone, like I'm sarcastic. I just am. And Huey's sarcastic, but he can't take it. And so
No.
this is my problem with my 6-year-old grandson. If you're gonna dish it, you better be able to take it.
He'll be like, you're
Like
just
he
over
can't
exaggerating. Grandma over exaggerates
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, that's Cash. Cash gets so irritated because he'll be like, "Is it really 500?" Yes, Cash, it was 500. It was. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so let's
let's
talk
talk
about
about this.
not
Stop saying the
yeah.
F word.
Okay, but who said
Oh,
it yesterday? So on
I
Tuesday,
I I did.
I got in trouble for saying the F word over and over again because it was a day. But little, I had not experienced Wednesday, so I feel like if I would have experienced Wednesday before Tuesday,
Tuesday wouldn't have been that
Tuesday was not that
bad.
bad. Mm-mm. You're
Mm,
right. I should have saved the F word for Wednesday. Yep.
mhm.
So
Um,
I live on the East Coast. That's where I'm going to start.
mm.
And
Two
so
hours.
I am 2 hours from you, 1 hour from our other business partner. And is Alicia 2 or 3?
No, right now Alicia's the same as me because
As
she's
you.
in
Okay.
Arizona. And I don't know
So,
when time changes. I think it changes back.
hmm.
I don't know.
So I have started. I've started reading the 5 a.m. club, and I'm not to 5 a.m. yet, but I am. I try to get up at like 6 as my
It's
new alarm.
guess what? It is 5 a.m. in mountain time
No,
when
it's
you're
not. It
up
is 4
dinking
a.m.
around. When you're up dinking around
I
and
can
I have
almost
I
meet my mom before she goes to bed for that day.
I
I'm
know.
almost to that point where my wake
Oh
up
my
time
God.
is her bedtime. And so I am
Oh,
now not going to do it, but I usually do check my emails in the morning just in case because I
nope.
am going to bed earlier. And so, and my sister and my mom, who I run two different businesses with, some of the same, but work until super late. So I'm like, what have they done? No, no more will I be checking my email before at least my Kelly, before Kelly is awake at a normal time because we just had a crazy day yesterday and I scrubbed clean my whole kitchen before somebody woke up. And nobody was waking up, apparently.
But I do like growth. That was growth. You
Thank
are,
you. I
you
chose
are,
that day I did not choose violence.
you did not choose violence.
I
You did
chose a
not.
sticker.
Well,
I woke up
and,
and I could
and
have chose violence.
one of your, you're learning to bridle your passion. And that is part of it is the growth and reaction. So I think the hardest thing in owning your own business is that knee jerk reaction of I just want to handle this and just do
Mhm.
this. But like there's so much that goes into a decision where when you work for someone and you do a knee jerk,
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, you have some responsibility in it, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's not the same. Like if I work when I worked for the university, if I did something knee jerk, yeah, it affected me, but really it affected overall like the university or whatever. And so now
Mhm.
that you're the owner, which thank God, because you know what your knee jerk reaction does makes me have to call people and be nice.
So
Into
I will say, okay, well, that incident of, yep, that was bad. My knee jerk is also, I think, yeah, okay, I am 36 and I am truly now, just now learning how to work with a
Are you
team.
really?
I am 30, I'm 40.
Yeah. No. 40.
Like I'm just
I'm 60, so that's why I wondered.
like I truly will admit I'm just now learning to work
Yeah.
with a team because
I was
before,
passionate in my early 30s as well,
yeah,
I think.
before, so even like when we first started the business together, you did like you had another job and you were trying to get your BCBA and stuff. So I did feel like I had to
Mhm.
make a lot of the decisions and I
Yeah.
also made them and then you had to
Yeah.
clean up a lot after them. But last year when
That's
I
a whole
had
nother
to
episode.
just different.
That's a whole
Last
nother
year when
episode.
I did have to like step back for real for those two
Mhm.
months, I had to let the other exec team members make decisions. Like I had to be
Yeah.
okay that you guys were making decisions. And now coming back into it, I'm I care about you guys' feelings a lot. Not that I didn't before, but I care more, I guess. I don't know. I'm more of, okay, how will they react if I make this decision? Like,
Right.
will it
Or
make you feel, especially as I'm going to say, especially Alicia, who is coming into the exec team this last year, and she has done amazing work. I don't want her to ever feel like I don't trust her decisions specifically. Not
well,
that I,
it's the cleanup. Let's be real about it. It's the
but
cleanup
it's
sometimes of
like,
the decisions.
yeah, so I am
Yeah.
now learning to work as a team. That my decisions, they've always
Mhm.
affected people, but I for some reason I care more now. I don't know if that makes like that
Well,
probably
that's
makes me
good. Oh,
seem like
look
a
at
bad
you.
person,
Look at
but
that little, look at
I
that
do.
growth.
Like I know
Well,
and also not being like this is we started the company, we can do whatever we want mentality. I've had to step back from that even though I still feel that way sometimes.
that is not true because you have a customer still. You can work for yourself, you still have a customer. I tell your
Mhm.
dad that all the time when you hurt his feelings. I'm like, well, you raised very strong, independent
Half
children.
the time I don't
And
mean to hurt his feelings.
well, he's kind of a
That's
baby.
okay. Taylor and I were just talking about this today and about how my approach is harsh. Any like Dr. Farley's approach is harsh. Britt's approach is harsh. Brittany's approach, me as in Brittany, is tough as crap. Like not many people
Brittany
can handle.
Elizabeth.
I cannot handle Brittany Elizabeth.
Brittany Elizabeth.
And my poor sister, she can handle Brittany Elizabeth because she grew up with Brittany Elizabeth and knows it. But I
She
have had
ignores
to,
half of what we say.
yes, I have had to hand off some. oversight of family members because I react as Brittany Elizabeth, and that is who I am, and I don't know how to just be
Oversight
Dr.
of,
Farley.
oh my God, that's so codependent. The oversight of family members. Let's just,
How
okay.
else do I say
So
it? But
I
I
don't know.
feel like I am like I feel like I hide Brittany Elizabeth a lot now. Whereas and I'm being
Yeah,
more
no,
Brit
I
and
think
Dr.
it's,
Farley, which is still harsh and we're
I think
still
we're
molding.
still working on the delivery. I think that that's important though. Like that's growth. Okay. So
Okay.
trusting the protocol. I can't,
Okay.
I can't.
This is our ABA segment. I feel like my voice changes. Now we roll into our ABA. This is Dr. Farley speaking at the
Trust the
moment.
protocol.
Trust the protocol. Okay, so Kelly and I talked about this a little bit, but I feel like that is, before we get into the funny part of trust the protocol, that is so important in the ABA field. Like, it might not make sense and it might look crazy as
That's
fuck,
because your protocol is
but
nonsense. The protocol is nonsense.
it works. It works. The protocol is crazy.
Yeah.
But it works. And when you try to think in the instance, like you're seeing it, and I've been direct care staff, like I understand the frustration of this is not an
Hmm.
immediate change, or how do I want to address this behavior in this exact moment, but we can't do
Hmm.
that. So when the protocol is not being trusted and decisions are being made to add in an old protocol without the BCBA knowing, things happen like nipple pinching and twisting.
That's why today we're all wearing padded bras.
Yes.
That's what we've learned.
And
Padded bras.
and how I will have to explain to our tax people how nipple shields are a write-off as supply.
So I think the thing is, though, like the response, the way you
Effort.
respond, and we've had this
Oh,
with our
that too.
direct
Yeah.
care. Yeah, with our direct care, like it's not going to be the typical way you would respond to a typical functioning child.
Yes.
And so I think even like turning that way around. So this is the thing about ABA. So all of our centers, it's young, like the pay is not great
Mm-hmm.
overall because of reimbursement rates. So you're getting people that are brand new to the field or changing fields or whatever. The education part usually is the second step because you're trying to get people going and stuff. And so, but you're requiring them to think at a higher level
Yes.
of like, so anytime I'm direct care, which honestly, direct care, I'm meant to be a telehealth person. Like my first instance of direct care, I got bit by a 12-year-old and I was like, oh my God, this I'm done. But
And
I
watched a client try to strangle me.
yeah, which that was you were like a little spider monkey, just jumping around, and I'm sitting there with my iPad going, I don't know what to do at this point. I'd never been in a clinic, but like the way I would respond, and this is
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to one of our supervisees last night about the schools, and and we're not trained. The
Mm-mm.
BTs are not trained in the way, and it is a higher level thinking because
It
when you're
is.
putting a protocol in place, like you're transcribing it to what ABA looks like. You're removing what you would do in a typical functioning. You're adding back in ABA. You're doing all these things, and what happens? You end up with your nipples pinched.
The other thing is
That's it.
working direct care, you have to tape taper your reflex. Like
Oh
you
yeah, you
literally
cannot.
are suppressing a reflex because
Hmm.
you can't always
Hmm.
react, but your reaction is actually an a analytic protocol in your head, so you have to be able to go through your checklist in an instance
Hmm.
before you even respond.
Right.
Like,
And it's I have the utmost respect for anyone
mhm,
that is doing direct care. And then that's why I'm so protective of the clinics we work with in Minnesota that are English is their second language or whatever, and and autism in general is something they're not even familiar with or a developmental
mhm,
disability. And so, yeah. So trust the protocol or wear nipple shields. Okay.
perfect.
We're oh,
Okay,
oh, We're not
I
dying
opt
to be a
out.
good mother.
Nope, we are opting out. We are not dying to be a good mother. We are remaining codependent. And okay, this is where working with your family and forming relationships with clients, positive ones. So let's short story. I cried as the CEO to get out of calling a client that I did not want to disappoint.
Oh, for the
And
love
my
of
mom
God.
called.
I'm like, my mom needs to call. I love
I
it
was
when
like,
you
my
do
mom
that.
has to do this. I can't do it. But
Uh,
it's like disappointing a father figure at all, which I'm sure will hurt my dad's feelings, but I don't mean it that way because
oh, Jesus. I
I would
can't do a
cry
therapy
just the
session.
same.
I can't do a therapy session with your father right now. I can't. I can't do
Oh
it.
my god. Okay, so I'm opting out of of anyone being a
Dying.
good mom, dying to be a good mom. Okay,
You
but
don't want me to learn how to be a good
nope.
mother
I
because
don't
you're
want you to
afraid
learn
I
how to
will put,
separate yourself from
yeah,
me.
I'll put
Mm-mm.
boundaries in place and you will
Nope.
not be happy
Mm-mm.
about that.
Nope. Okay. So I thought about taking it a different route since we are in the ABA field and supporting a fellow BCBA.
That your
Um,
sister gave
our
us
sister,
these
yeah.
books.
But okay,
Yeah.
you want to hear the funny story? She created Workwell, which Kelly and I's friend who owns the Evolve Behavior Supervision Program that started
Yeah.
around the same time as us, she wrote for them
Oh,
for a
nice.
while. Yeah. So it took me a minute to make that connection.
The
So,
connection.
yeah.
Super cool.
So we're going to read the book called Fuckless because stop
Now we
saying
just
the
got
F
an
word.
explicit.
I already said fuck earlier. You missed it. Um
You were not
it's
allowed to swear when you were younger. I just
That's
want
why.
everyone to
Okay,
know that.
let's talk about satiation deprivation.
Oh,
That's why on my cabinet, that's why Dustin and I have a walk-in pantry and a candy drawer.
so that's Beth too. That's two parents. That's Dustin's mom and my mom. That I don't get all the blame for that one. That's also the Farleys.
um, okay, so Gianna Biscontini. I practice saying that. I don't know if I said it right, but I feel like I said it better than I have before.
Oh,
So
good. Okay.
she is a BCBA. She actually, her, okay, I don't know. This is at EDHD. So education, a doctorate of education in education health. What is an
I don't know.
EDHD? I
But
don't.
is she a BCBA though?
She is a BCBA, but
Yeah.
her other MA EDHD. So it's an education doctorate, right?
Education is EDD. I don't know.
Um,
Well, so we're reading her book. And
we're
I
reading
have
her
it.
book. Yeah.
I have it.
Oh,
Which
it's
will
a
go.
leadership,
Oh,
education
nice.
leadership. Maybe I don't know. I feel like I should reach out and ask her that now.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna start reading her book. It's a guide to wild, uncumbered freedom. I feel like that's better than separating ourselves from being.
Well, I
Uh,
am I am looking forward to it, but that rolls into our pit and peak because my
yes.
pit is I can't actually find the book to start reading it, but the peak is but
Don't
the
tell
peak
Taylor
is
that, anyone who
no,
listens.
but the peak is my drywall is done. I'm now can unpack. So I will find the book in my pit and peak. Also, so that's my pit and peak. So I read the first part of it. Like I wrote stuff in it and everything. Yeah, like it's really good, but I can't remember any of it because I'm old, a protected class, 60, 60,
40.
60.
Did you know it's 40? It's 40.
I
Okay.
know, but I'm 60. Think how extra protected I am. Okay, so what's your pit and peak?
My ooh, ooh. Um
I might have ADHD because now I don't have any fidget and so I reach down and grab.
you just told me to stop literally before we
This is
started.
how
She told
this is
me.
how you know you live in South Dakota when your fidget is into your antler. I went to the I tell you what,
Oh my gosh.
he moved me out into the middle of the country and now I'm fidgeting with a deer antler.
Okay.
Okay, so what's
Okay,
your
so
pit and peak?
my pit might actually be that the weather because of the boys' baseball and how excited
Yeah.
they were about baseball. So that's my pit. Um, my peak, and I hope our producer is listening. My peak is that I went and looked to see how many listeners we actually have, and we have more than one.
We have an audience. Oh, I thought
Just
maybe your
saying.
peak would be your husband was home after a month.
Oh shoot, and my kids, but no.
Nope, it's that we have more than
I
one listener.
Brittany Elizabeth is excited that we have more than one listener because she is attention seeking. Okay. I mean,
Oh my
okay, I
God.
am glad that he yesterday we're both teleworking right now. And yesterday, like we have said, was crazy. And he was downstairs doing his stuff and he fed the kids lunch. He did dishes. He did supper time. Like he did everything
Bad
yesterday.
part is that, and I say asshole with the most loving way. He'll be like, "It's so easy. I could do it all the time. I don't know what the problem is," because he loves to poke. Like that's
Mhm.
his favorite thing. And no one realizes that about him because he's really quiet. Like if you meet him and they're like, "Oh my God, he's so nice." But like,
He's a
he just
poker.
loves, he does. And he
He's
likes
sarcasm too.
this. Yeah.
My
And then
kids
he'll
have
be
no
like,
chance.
yeah, he'll be like, "What? I don't under why are you upset?" There's so many times I have told that man, "Dude, you got to
Why
go
I'm upset.
after her." Dude,
What he did.
that too far. Too far.
He
He's
needs a
getting
buzzer.
it's so much better from when you guys first moved in together back how many years ago was
Well,
that?
that happened. That's what happens when you lose your shit.
Too far, dude. Too far.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for listening. Check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. Instagram's at And Then She Said podcast, and Facebook is And Then She Said. And check us out on YouTube if listening to us is not enough and you feel like you need to see our
If you want to see
beautiful
me wipe my
faces.
nose, the whole entire thing.
All
Oh
right. Thanks for
Lord.
listening.